Doesn't it just seem like chosen people suffer the most? Like people who have a real calling on their lives, people that have great things to do, people that are doing wonderful things in their lives. It just seems like they suffer more. But I don't know why that is, but there are several reasons that I think it could be. Here they are. I believe that chosen people have a divine purpose in their lives. Like when you're called to do something great, when you're called to do something new and different, you have to have a new you. And as you're going on your journey and going on your path, it requires you to use your whole mind. It requires you to use all of your resources, every single thing you know to do, every single tool that you have in your toolbox. It takes you. And I don't think that the average person is willing to walk the path that you're walking. I don't think that the average person even knows what it feels like to be on that next level. I don't think the average person is even called to do something great like you are. So it just seems like chosen ones suffer the most because of the calling. And this calling that you have, it is challenging. It is so difficult. It is so hard. Sometimes you don't even have a guidebook. You don't even know how to get where you need to get. But something told you that you are called to be great. I'll wait. Something told you that you were called to be great ever since you were little. And it just seems so much more challenging for people that are called to be great and to do great things in their lives, because it just seems like life works itself out that way. And when you have a divine purpose, you're not on what they're on. You're not doing what they're doing. You're not moving like they're moving. You are literally moving to the rhythm of your own drum. And there probably isn't anyone ahead of you that's done it. You are probably the trailblazer in your family. You're probably the first person to do something new and different. You're probably the first one to make this happen because you're taking a risk and you're taking a chance. And it feels like you're suffering more because you're willing to do the things that average people aren't willing to do. And another reason it seems like chosen people suffer the most is because the level of sacrifice, the level of sacrifice. Family, you are giving up a lot for your dream. You are giving up a lot to be doing the things that you're doing, to be called to do what you're doing. Some of y'all are in difficult jobs. Some of y'all are doing things differently than your ancestors did before you. Some of you guys are trailblazing and you are the one in your family to be the first millionaire. Some of y'all are really taking on tasks that nobody else was willing to do. And that is not easy. And you know that requires a different level of person. You know that requires a strong person. How many of us have friends that are cool with being regular? How many of us have friends that are so cool with being regular? And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. But not for you. You're not called to be regular. You're not even comfortable doing a lot of what you're doing now because you know you could do more. You feel like you're greater than that. You're better than that job. You're better than that situation, that relationship, and the things that you put yourself in and the things that you are in because you know you deserve more. So when you're chosen, the fact that you're coming out of something that doesn't feel good says a lot about you. The fact that you don't just want to feel good, but you want to be good says a lot about your character, who you are, and the mark you're making on this earth. It is harder for the chosen ones because they suffer the most, because their calling is greater and different than that average man. And not only do you sacrifice a lot, you sacrifice your personal comfort. Your personal comfort. To sit at a job where you're making decent money. You're sacrificing your personal comfort to be where you are. No, you want greater. You're willing to do more so that you can have more, because the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And you understand that. So many people don't, because they're not willing to take the risk. They're not willing to take the sacrifice, but you are. And you're willing to do the hard things, and you're willing to do the hard work. And nobody else is forcing you to do it. It's just something that you're on. And I know it gets hard. And sometimes it feels lonely. And it feels like isolation when you're on your way to greatness. And I remember reading a story about the eagle. And I talked about this in one of my past videos. It is said that the eagle, once he's at the height of himself, he sort of slows down. He's not as sharp as he used to be. So what he does is he flies to the highest mountaintop, right? And this process of molting, this process of change and transfiguration can take up to 5 months. And so he gets to the mountaintop by himself and he beats his beak against the rock to break it. And he pulls out and rips out his talons and his feathers are shedding. And he goes through this period of vulnerability again for 150 days. And it is said that when he is healed, when the talons grow back, when the beak grows back, when his feathers are better, he mounts up with a new strength, and he is able to lock in prey up to 3 miles away and fly higher, better, faster, and stronger. And isn't that you? When you're putting yourself in a vulnerable situation, all because you want more. When you're putting yourself in a better situation, all because you know you deserve better. That is a challenge. And that is why it feels like chosen people may suffer the most, because of what your calling is, because of the things you're doing, and because of the type of time that you're on. And when you sacrifice personal comfort for success, you go through a lot of hardship. You deal with a lot. So many people are in unsatisfying relationships, whether that's a love relationship, a work relationship, whatever the relationship is. So many people are in an unsatisfying relationship, all because it's familiar. So good doesn't feel good. Good feels familiar. It's not about being good. So they're staying in situations because it's familiar. But family, you don't want that for your life. That's not you. That's not what you're called to do. You want more and greater. But you know the sacrifices that you're making make it a little bit hard for your life in this season, but you're willing to take the risk. And another reason why it feels like chosen people suffer the most is the high expectations that you place on yourself. The high expectations, you push yourself to the limit. You push yourself to the limit. Everything in your life, you do in excellence. Whatever you put your hands to do, you do it with the greatest intent. You are living your life excellently. You are excellent. But when you're living in excellence, that causes increased pressure, increased stress, so much more than the average man, because every single thing that you do it the right way. Every single thing that you do it God's way, your way. Because at the end of the day, family, you put high price tags on your outputs. And when you have a higher expectation of yourself, you do the tough jobs. You do the work that so many other people aren't willing to do. You're disciplined. Some of us are in the gym, sun up to sundown. Some of us are disciplined in other areas and industries and fields of our lives. We're taking that chance on ourselves. So many of us are willing to do the things that nobody else is willing to do. And that is not easy. It's not. And when you're willing to set the bar high for yourself, and when you're willing to set high expectations for yourself, sometimes that can push people away because maybe they want more of your time, more of your attention, more of your energy, more of your effort. And maybe in this season, you're not able to give that right now because right now you're building a future for yourself, for your family, for everything that you have responsibility over. And that is very hard for people to understand because your expectations of yourself are so high. You have expectations of every single thing in your life. And I'm not saying you're judgmental by any means, but there's just a certain level of care, a certain level of expectation, a certain way you handle things, and a certain way that you allow people to handle you. And I think another reason why it appears that chosen people suffer the most is because I believe you're just so empathetic. And when you're empathetic, right, you open up your heart to so many people, but at the same time, you're giving and giving and giving, and that can leave you feeling depleted. That can leave you feel like you're giving so much and you're doing too much. But at the end of the day, that's just the type of person that you are. And a lot of suffering is there because you open yourself up emotionally so you can feel other people's pains. Everybody comes to you and shares their problems with you. Everybody comes to you and talks to you about things that are going on negatively in their life, things that are working out, things that are not working out, how they wish things could be different and better. And you sit there with a listening ear and an open heart. And a lot of times, family, when you're empathetic like that, you suffer more because not only are you taking on your own personal burden, but you're also taking on the burdens of other people as well. And another reason why it seems like chosen ones suffer more, you literally have your own unique challenges, meaning you have these unfair advantages. What are unfair advantages? Things that you're naturally good at, talents that you naturally have that you don't have to try hard to do. Maybe you can sing, or maybe you can rap, or maybe you're just good with your hands. Maybe you can build, maybe you can preach or prophesy or heal or whatever you can do. It is a natural gift of yours. And that opens up the door for a lot of jealousy, hate, and envy. And there are people out here, family, that hate you for no reason. They're just mad. They're mad because you're great. They hate you because you're great. You've literally done nothing to these individuals, but they dislike you because you're great. So even though you have these unique gifts that make you wonderful, these gifts open you up to be a target to others that feel like they don't have what you have. The haters, the naysayers, those people that don't have what you have, you open up yourself to that naturally just because you're skilled. Like, you can't help being you. You're great at so many things, but they're mad that it's not them. That's not your fault. And when they want to hate on you, that just leads to conflict, issues, you having to separate yourself from these people, isolation, rejection, all the things. So it feels like you suffer more just for being you, family. So in conclusion, know that you're chosen. And when you are chosen, you're called to do something great. You're called for greater. You're called to do more. You're more than what you have. You're more than who you are. Your highest and best self, you think you're doing something now. That new and future version of you is amazing, family. So you have to embrace it and know that with all of your blessings comes a lot. With every single thing that you're gifted with comes with a lot too. The two sides of one coin. And at the end of the day, because you are a winner, because you are chosen, because you are great, you open up yourself to a lot of hate. But just know that every single thing you do, you're moving the needle forward, you're setting an example, and you're setting the expectation of what it looks like to be a real one. Just something to think about. Stay inspired. And by the way, I want to say thank you all for watching my videos, for subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. My channel is growing. I started YouTube with the intention of just sharing the many lessons that I learned along the way. And I'm so happy to see that it's resonating with so many people. I hope you have a good day. Stay inspired.